What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be adding to our 5-minute fix series where I spend 5 minutes or less talking about how you can fix your stuff. So today we're going to be talking about bleeding magazines. Now this is a technique in order to clear out some more space or some more atmosphere inside of your gas magazines for gas blowback rifles or pistols. These are going to be operable just for the green gas or propane based magazines and not for CO2, and obviously not AEGs because they don't operate under this condition. So how does a gas magazine work if you don't know? So this is a gas blowback pistol magazine. This here is a gas blowback rifle magazine. What happens is the entire magazine is going to be a metal container designed to hold pressurized gas. And what happens is it is the release of the gas pressure that engages the internal mechanism to operate the rifle. Essentially, just works like a real rifle, but off of compressed gas. So what we need to be careful is making sure that all of the seals and O-rings and the feed lips are all in good condition in order to maintain those gas pressures. If we don't have optimal gas pressure, it's not going to work. So what can happen is, if you're doing something like what I'm doing here, where I'm just pressing that release valve on the back of the magazine, if I'm pressing that in, that is going to open up the valves and let oxygen or other type of atmospheric gases into that chamber. And because of no venting system, what needs to happen is there needs to be a vacuum of space specifically for the green gas or propane gas to sit inside of there to give it the optimal or the maximum amount of gas space. So what can happen is, and it's not just from pushing fingers, what can happen is if you have this in a gear bag or in your pouch, something can be pressing up against that because it doesn't require a whole lot of pressure if it's not under pressure. And that can hold open in your gun bag, in your gear bag, and that can let the atmosphere inside of there. So one of the techniques is to do what is called a bleed. So if there's nothing inside of here, so there's no gas, it's not pre-filled or anything, you take your gas canister, give it a small little press down, just a very quick one, and then with your finger, if you have a small amount of gas inside of there, it is safe to press and release that gas. One more time, just a small little burst. And what it's doing is that is rushing all of the gas outside of there, creating a vacuum. So you can take your gas and just hold it down, and now you can fill it to the max amount of space that is now created inside of your magazine. And that technique can be utilized even on the full-size gas blowback magazines. These specifically, these PTS EPM magazines are a little bit better because they have a little bit of a shield around them. So it is harder for a object to press on that valve inside of gear bags or gun bags, but it is not impossible. So same type of technique, a quick little burst, and then with either your finger, or in this case, I have to utilize a tool, just quick release it. Again, for anyone that is not familiar with how gas magazines work, is you need to hold them in a correct or a proper orientation. If you have your gas canister like I have here and you swish it around, you'll notice that it feels like there's some type of liquid inside of there as you swish it around, creating momentum and weight distribution across the entire canister. That is because inside of here is going to be liquid gas. It is a liquid because that is what allows the gas itself to go from a liquid state to a gaseous state. And what you're doing is you're transferring the liquid into the magazine itself. So the liquid is physically going inside of the magazine, and as it goes from a liquid to a gas state, that helps produce even more gas to allow you to shoot gas magazines for a longer period of time. Little physics, science stuff for you. And one of the techniques that I have here as far as visual representation is in trying to utilize different gas canisters. A lot of people don't know this technique, so they burn through their canisters faster than they probably could. So this is called a waterfall fill or a cascade fill. So say you have one empty canister, you have one empty canister and one full canister. You can identify which one is the full one because it has liquid inside of there and it is physically heavier than the one that is empty without gas. What you're going to do is to completely drain this magazine is you're going to fill your magazine with the most empty canister, and that is going to move more gas into here. And then when you take your fuller canister, you are only pulling a small amount here in order to fill your magazine. Because what happens, unfortunately, when people don't utilize this technique, is if they're partially filled and they're fully filled, they'll utilize the fully filled because they think more full, better, and they fill it to where there's more gas in here, and then they go to the one that has the least gas and they try to fill it, but it can't fill because what happens is this needs to have equal or more pressure than the magazine in order to properly fill it. Otherwise, you're leaking some of the gas here into the canister. It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. So you're not actually filling this magazine from this if you fill it from the more full one. And then you get less shots, and then there's complaints, and then overall it's not a good time. So what you absolutely have to do, fill with the canister that is less full, and then you've completely emptied this one so you can literally throw it away. You have depleted all of the gas inside of there, and then you pull from this one just a little bit, just enough to get it to where it matches the gas pressure, and then you still have excess gas inside of this fuller canister. That way when this one is taken out or you completely shoot through this one, now you have all the gas to put in that one, and then you can throw that one away. And you've utilized all of the gas, right? Now, be aware this is just a rough visual concept. That is not how anything actually happens. You don't fill it and empty your magazine in the matter of one gas fill. So don't take that exactly. And so that's what I have for you guys. So that is bleeding magazines and how to properly cascade and fill your magazine from multiple canisters. Hopefully that's educational for you. If you guys have any further questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer every single question you have for me. And we're all done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.